Hello, this is Minachi. I'm so happy to be with you. Today, I'm going to be giving you a rundown on what is family constellation therapy. All right, so family constellation therapy is a somatic healing modality that helps you release the ancestral baggage that was never yours to carry. Invite a breath. So, to break this down a little bit more, somatic, meaning that it's in the body, will be going into the body with this practice. And identifying where are you carrying somebody else's trauma? Where are you carrying trauma that has occurred in your lineage? And then how can you learn to release and let that go? So, a little bit about the premise of the work, right? Here we have a depiction of older generations to younger generation. And the base, like foundation of family constellation therapy is that love is meant to flow downstream. It's meant to flow from big person to little person. And sometimes people get confused when I share this. They ask, well, does that mean that I'm not supposed to love my parents? Or I'm not supposed to love my elders or my ancestors or where I came from? No, love whoever you want. That is wonderful. But I think that sometimes we have a confused idea of what reciprocity is. We are accustomed, I think, to this kind of like tit for tat idea of reciprocity. You give me a cookie, therefore I must now give you a cookie. And that's not what it is. Reciprocity can be me seeing that you're having a hard time and asking if you would like a hug. And if you say yes, then reciprocity means me offering that hug and you getting to receive the warmth and gentleness and ease of receiving that hug, that you get to just rest and let go in it. That is what I mean by love is meant to flow downstream. Our elders, our ancestors, our parents are responsible for creating an environment where younger generations can really come in, rest, spark, nurture, nourish, become, blossom, bloom, right? Become the best version of ourselves and then go forward into a life to lead the life that we're meant to live. With that said, what can happen is trauma will hit the system. Trauma can be any number of things. It can come from natural events, life disaster, early loss, early death, systemic conditions, something that an elder doesn't know how to cope or deal with. And as a result, their love becomes interrupted and it doesn't flow downstream the way it should. This can then spark a kind of ripple effect of results. One being more trauma can happen in the system. That same trauma that happened, because it's not resolved, can then begin to cycle and loop down the generations. And other traumas can enter the system because life is life. And what you can see is that flow of love continues to be interrupted, impacted, and impaired. So then what happens is because when we come into the world as little people, we're full of abundant energy, life, and love, is there can be an unconscious pull to send love back upstream, right? We come in and we say, I'll come in and I'll fix everything. And some of the ways that that can manifest is trying to live out the dreams that our ancestors didn't get to live, like trying to live by their rules, their goals, their desires, as opposed to connecting with our own intuition and understanding what we're here for and then living towards that. The other way that it can look is dimming our own light. We can come in and see, my ancestors and my elders, they weren't given access to safely shining, safely being who they are. And therefore, out of loyalty and in order to honor them, I will make myself smaller. I also will not be seen. I also will not shine. Gonna invite a breath. So, through family constellation therapy, really what we're doing is we're beginning to understand where are the traumas that need to be named. How can we bring them to light? How can we create a space of spaciousness and witness for them so that things can really come back into right relationship, so that things can really be integrated, so that we are not trying to do things that actually are not healthy for us to be doing in terms of what exists in our lineage, and so that we can actually become open to receiving all of the love and abundance that is here for us. So, a couple questions that sometimes come up here. or anywhere along the way. One, you don't have to do this work with your family. There's different things that can be done, certainly with people, but also energetically within ourselves to come into a safe alignment. And two, usually when I facilitate the work, it's often for a group of strangers who don't know each other. And what we find, because life is that our stories are so strikingly similar, aligned, and in common. People often ask, and this is, I think, the place where I get stuck. And people are like, okay, a lot of what you've described is hitting, but how does it really work? Y'all, this is a piece of the magic that I cannot explain. Family constellation work is magic. Um, it is, in terms of creating a container of informed consent where people really know what they're stepping into and how we're going to work with things, particularly things related to trauma. One of the things that's hard with family constellation therapy is it is like describing the ocean to someone who's only ever taken a shower before. Water is water, but I can't tell you what it's going to feel like when that sea breeze hits you. I can't tell you what it's going to be like when that saltwater sting comes onto your lips and it's so yummy and cracked, or what it's going to be like to have sand crusted between your toes. If it is for you, it's for you. And it is so delicious and good. And what I can tell you is that if you feel pulled towards this work, if there's things that in your body that are saying, yes, this is the type of work for me, we will absolutely get you there to be living your best Moana life, like to really feel in alignment, to feel like you can say yes to receiving, and to feel like you don't have to carry things that genuinely are not yours to carry. And pull that down, and we'll ask two questions. One, what resonated? And check in with yourself about what resonated, what sparked. And two, what are you going to do about it? The Healing Money Trauma program starts very, very soon. Applications are now open and will close as soon as we're at max capacity, which for this cohort is going to be 25 people. Do you have any questions? You're welcome to ping me. I'm so glad to have spent this time with you and hope to see you soon.